So I've been wanting to make this video. I seen this photo come out. Shout out to them, who made this photo. But it showed the earnings for boxers in 2024, and I'll just go in order. You got Tyson Fury, 147 million. Alexander Usyk, 122 million. Canelo Alvarez, 73 million. Anthony, 60 million. Jake Paul, 48 million. Inoue, 42 million. Now, let's talk about this. What do y'all see? Do y'all see any American fighters on here? Sure, Jake Paul. But isn't Jake Paul a YouTuber? Jake Paul didn't start out boxing and coming up through the circuits and all of that. This is why boxing is where it is in America. Globally, boxing is killing it. Why do you think Turkey Al-Sheikh buying it up? And you see Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, when they do their promotions, they sell out Wembley Stadium and the O2 Arena and all these other places, right? They do 80, 90,000 like it's nothing. But in America, people barely show up to fights. If a fight do 15, 20,000, that's considered a success. Because you got stuff like this. American fighters are not promoted. And then when they are promoted, you hate on them. You hate on Devin Haney. I seen people just completely tear Devin Haney down to the point to where when he was undisputed, you would have thought he would have got his recognition. Then people were saying, "Oh, belts don't matter. Who cares about a belt?" You had Deontay Wilder, who was our last great American heavyweight. They'll come in here and talk about he had one punch because his one punch, quote unquote, got him to 40-something fights. He knocked out pretty much everybody else, and you could argue he knocked out Tyson Fury in that first fight and that third fight, but it was a slow count. But regardless, I seen people hate on him, people tear him down, and but at the same time, I seen people give Anthony Joshua excuses for years. Several big UK channels talking about, man, Anthony's not ready for Wilder. He's not ready for Wilder. He's not ready. He needs 3-4 more years for Wilder. Even though he had 3 out of the 4 belts, WBA, WBO, IBF, but he wasn't ready for Wilder. Tyson Fury, a guy who had 3 out of the 4 belts at first when he beat Klitschko, right? What was that? WBO, WBA, IBF. Anthony Joshua collected his belts. He retires, then he gains a whole bunch of weight. He loses the weight. You don't hear people making fun of him. You hear people say, "Oh man, look at Tyson Fury coming back from his depression." But if Deontay Wilder was talking about that, y'all have been calling him a crackhead, everything else you can think of, a drug addict, you name it. Alexander Usyk, another one. He's a guy who moved up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, and you've seen people praise him on and on. We got Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo literally cherry picks, and people love him. Jake Paul, who was a former YouTuber, now I'm flying around buying private jets and stuff off boxing money, getting fights with Mike Tyson. And anyway, his country over there in Japan supporting him. But when it comes to American fighters, man, it's just people. I've seen people tear down so many fighters, and then on top of that, man, these fighters, they swear they're making all this money. How come they not on this list? None of these American fighters are on this list. Especially Gervonta Tank Davis. Isn't Tank got a bigger deal than Floyd? Well, why is he not on this list right here? Tank should have made at least $80 million last year between fighting and endorsements, but they're not. And until we start promoting American fighters better, and these fighters humble themselves and become more media friendly and actually fight the best, you're not gonna see nobody on this list, man, because boxing is no longer the best sport. And over there in the UK and everywhere else, boxing might be number 2, number 3. Boxing is probably, if you could think of 10 sports right now in America, it's got to be at the bottom. When you walk down the street, you ask people, "Hey man, who is Keyshawn Davis, man? Do you know who he is? Oh, do you know what weight class he in? What champion is he? Is he WBA? Is he IBF or WBC, WBO? I don't know." People don't even know who are champions anymore in America. But if you go to other countries, yeah, people know who Keyshawn Davis is, or people know, what belts he have and all of that. And it's all through promotion, man. And until growing up, boxing was, even though boxing wasn't as big as it was in the 80s and the early 90s, it was still up there. You still had the heavyweights and everybody else, but it seems like it just is not where it's at in America anymore. And it's unfortunate, but this is crazy that the only American on this list is a YouTuber. So this should be a wake-up call for everybody, man. Let's stop all this ducking and dodging and, "Oh man, I'm on this side of the street, man. I'm on this side of the street." No, let's Let's have the best fight the best, man. You know, who cares if people have losses? Look at all the great fighters. Look at who got losses. Joe Louis, Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran. I mean, I really can name Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya. I can sit here and name names all day. But until things change, man, boxing gonna be where it's at in America. But I just want to get my quick thoughts about it. Tell me what y'all think.